Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to my channel. So today's video, I'm going to show you some basic sheet metal forming techniques that I used to create this beautiful aluminum heart for my wife for Valentine's Day, using a flat piece of metal that I took off a car hood, metal forming hammer, piece of wood block that I rounded the edges on, and a wooden buck that I used to make this whole shape. So stay tuned and you'll see the whole process. Thank you. All right, y'all. So before we get into the actual making of the process, I'll give you a better look at what I actually created using the metal forming process. So this is all aluminum, finished on the planisher, hand hammered using all this stuff, the buck, the aluminum, the hammers, and just finished with some high build primer and some red paint. But yeah, this is what I made for my wife, so you don't have to make this, but I used the techniques that I'm going to show later in the video, how to make this, and you can apply it to almost anything. So, all right, guys, so we will get into the making of this aluminum heart. All right, guys, so I've already did the first piece of this project. It's already been on the planishing hammer. So what I did is for this piece that I'm going to turn into this shaped metal, this heart-shaped metal, I just flipped the jig over, and then we're going to sandwich this in between here and create that heart shape. All right, so I got this secured down. So I'm using my jig table, just a couple clamps to kind of secure this down. I just put 2 screws in this one just to keep this metal from moving. So what we're going to do is we're going to heat this up, which is going to kind of make this metal a little bit easier to move. And actually when I heat this up, it's going to start to suck down because underneath of it is the same shape. So it's going to start to pull itself down, and then we're going to take this block of wood. It's pretty simple setup. Just kind of round the edges enough to be able to get in here and really push that shape in. Plastic hammer, which is your typical metal fabrication hammer that you would use on a shop bag. And then you can use really any kind of hammer. I use this dead blow rubber mallet, just so I'm not like busting this piece of wood to pieces, and I'm not hitting this too hard and leaving too hard of a hammer mark. Mostly when you see me do this, I'm gonna either hit it with this, or if I need to hit it harder, I'll tag team with that, or I'll tag team with this end and kind of get where I need to get in there. So fire it up. I'm using a Benzomatic map gas as my heat source. Let's see if I can zoom in. So you guys may not be able to tell, but it started to sink down a little bit. But we're about to really make it sink down. Get this piece out of the way. Put a little bit more heat. As you guys can see, it's starting to create a little ridge, and that's what I want. I want that nice hard detail in there. All right, so I got this roughed out metal finished. As you can see, there's a ridge here. This is all nice and caved in. So I'm gonna take it out. You're gonna have a lot of rough little bumps, but that's what the planishing hammer is for. Realistically, you could probably get to this level, relatively little cost, just some wood, jigsaw. I use a CNC for this shape. Plastic hammer for metal shaping is relatively inexpensive. This is just a piece of scrap wood that I've kind of put a bevel on, and then just my rubber mallet. So relatively inexpensive, and you can do any shape really you want. I'm using recycled steel from a previous, or recycled aluminum from a previous project. It's got some car paint on it, but it's all gonna get sanded down, so I'm not really too worried about it. But super easy. I think I got about 10 minutes of work into it right now, as far as like hammering, heating, and then maybe have another 5 or 10 minutes on the planishing hammer to get it pretty close. But I'll show you guys what it looks like when you take it off your jig. So it's gonna have the shape of this. So this is all just paint. It's gonna have this shape. Take these screws out. As you can see, it's nice and raised. Pretty similar to the one that's already pre-planished. It's just gonna be a little bit smoother. You see all the little deeper hammer marks. Once we put it on the planishing hammer, it'll be a lot smoother. And then this one's ready to be trimmed and sanded. And then this one is ready for the planishing hammer. All right, y'all. So this is a pneumatic planishing hammer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work this back and forth to get the curvature, get all these little hammer marks that I got in there on this anvil. So this is a 1-inch radius. I have a 2-inch radius and a 3-inch radius, so it gradually gets a little flatter by the time you get to a 3-inch. But what I wanna do, smooth all this out, really get this detail in that I want, and then come back with the 2-inch and the 3-inch radius. So this is going to be really loud and annoying, and then I'll try to keep the video pretty short so you guys are not deaf at the end of it. All right, so I finished with pneumatic planishing. As you can see, it's ready to be sanded. Nice little bulge, so it continued to get a little bit rounder from the planishing. And I tried to leave a crease right here, so it actually looks like a heart. But the panel is no longer flat. It's kind of curved now, because I really tried to get in with this anvil and really crease that hard edge, because this is what's gonna get trimmed. All this is gonna get trimmed out, but I really want the appearance of like a really nice heart made out of aluminum. But next we got sanding, so I'll sand all this, trim this, and then start prepping it for welding. All right, YouTube, so I got everything trimmed up, fit up, and I'm doing the initial TIG welding right now. So I've already kind of TIG welded over here. So I'm gonna come and TIG weld over here and a couple more spots, and then I'll release it from this clamp, and then I can finish TIG welding it all together. All right, guys, so I got this all TIG welded up, sanded all the edges down, got it pretty well shaped how I want it. From here, you can continue sanding and polishing for a bare metal look, or you can prep it for paint. For this piece, I will be prepping for paint, so I didn't get all the little imperfections out of it. I'm just gonna put a little primer on it, block it down, and then get it ready for paint. But other than that, thanks guys for tuning in. Thanks for watching my channel, and I'll be posting more content here soon. Thank you.